the UK and you earn over 100k in income and you haven't submitted your self-assessment yet, then this video is absolutely for you, even if you're not self-employed. It's a common myth that self-assessments are only for people who are self-employed, and I am here to tell you that that is not the case. You still have to do a self-assessment, even if you are full-time employed, once you are earning over 100k.
Quick disclaimer that I'm simplifying to make this easier to explain, but here's a screenshot of the different intricacies for you.
I'm going to be sharing the financial checklist that I wish someone had given me when I first started earning in my career as a first-gen professional. And I'm also going to talk about the 100k trap and how I use tithing to help me reduce my legal tax liability. If you like this type of content, please do make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into my financial checklist. So the first part of the checklist is you being aware of what your responsibilities actually are as a high earner. The deadline for you to file your self-assessment and the deadline for you to pay any tax that you might owe to HMRC is the 31st of January. Now, if you file late or if you pay late, the day after, so February 1st, you will be issued an £100 fine. In fact, here's a screenshot of what the fine looks like. And it goes up over time. So it's really important for you to make sure that you are doing this ahead of the deadline to avoid any late filing penalties. The second part of this checklist is my strategic deductions and giving. And I do this in a couple of different ways. The first way, like I said at the top of my video, is that I tithe to my church because my church is a registered charity. And this is money that I would have given to church regardless. But when I realized that by using gift aid, you can actually reduce your tax bill legally, I figured why not tithe in that way instead. The other thing I do is maxing out my pension contribution. So if you're an employee, your employer is probably giving you a particular percentage to your pension. You can increase the amount that you're putting into your pension to help reduce your tax bill. And you can also look into pension salary sacrifice schemes as well if your employer does offer that, because that's another way to legally reduce your tax bill. But I'm not a financial advisor. These are just things that you kind of hear about when you are in that environment. The third thing that I've got on the checklist for you isn't really about your self-assessment, but it's financial literacy. So it's really important for you to get this, is making sure you're on top of what your workplace additional benefits are outside of your salary. So there's usually loads of different ways that you can kind of save money, be a bit more frugal with money, whether it's because your workplace gives you a petrol allowance, whether you can claim back for working from home a couple of days of the week, whatever it is that your workplace might allow you to do, there might be a relief for you because of it. And there's a whole tax reliefs section of your self-assessment that I would definitely encourage you to read through carefully and see which bits apply to you. So the last thing that I'll just say about this is that the government have actually issued a really helpful guide to walk you through step by step how you can complete your self-assessment. I would say if this is your first time doing it, just set aside a day. Like you need a good 5-6 hours minimum, but set aside a day for yourself so that you can just take your time and go through this. Make sure that you file even if your tax is 0, because you get a penalty for not filing and you also get a penalty for not paying if you do have any tax. But run through the guide. I will link it in the comments. You still got time. Remember, the deadline is the 31st of January. So you've still got a bit of time as of the day that I'm recording this. If you like this type of content, please do make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back again soon with another video.